So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth that you could speak to the president. Can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election? Can you say that? Do you have the independence to say that? Do you have the gravitas, the stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020 election? Can you tell us that here today?
Pam Bondi thought she could spin her way out of tough questions, but Adam Schiff wasn't having it. What started as a heated exchange quickly turned into a political showdown that left Bondi scrambling, and honestly, the footage speaks for itself. She just couldn't get the words out that the election was fair, was clearly off limits for her. And what happened after that? Well, let's just say it left everyone stunned.
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I won't do it.
Now, this wasn't just another fiery back and forth between Adam Schiff and Pam Bondi. This moment dug deeper. It was about whether the checks and balances we always talk about in government actually mean anything anymore.
Ms. Bondi, as you know, the Supreme Court in Trump versus United States held the president has absolute immunity to commit crimes in certain core areas of the president's responsibility. One of those core areas is the Justice Department. So in a breathtakingly dangerous and irresponsible decision, Justice Roberts and the majority held the president could commit crimes using the Department of Justice and be immune from prosecution. Justice Sotomayor correctly said this new immunity lies about like a loaded weapon. So the fear and the concern we have is that the incoming president will use that loaded weapon, that immunity, to commit crimes through the Department of Justice. And for that reason, it is all the more important that we have an attorney general who has the independence, the strength, the intestinal fortitude to say no to the president when it is necessary.
Schiff laid it out bluntly. If the attorney general isn't independent, then we're in serious trouble. He warned that the Supreme Court's recent ruling practically handed the president a get-out-of-jail-free card, letting him twist the Justice Department to serve his own personal interests.
So my first set of questions has to do whether you have the independence to say no when you must say no. And you can say this is hypothetical, but it is not hypothetical. So let me start with one very specific non-hypothetical.
Bondi, still riding hard for Trump, tried to cloud the issue by pointing fingers at the investigations into January 6th and the 2020 election, acting like there wasn't enough credible evidence to go on.
Simple
I
question,
won't play
if you can
politics
speak truth
with any ongoing
to power.
investigation,
So let me ask you another,
like you did leaking your colleague Devin Nunes's memo.
If you can't answer the question, let me ask you a different, what should be a simple truth, not a hard one. Was there massive fraud affecting the result of the 2020 election, yes or no?
Senator, I'm glad you asked that question, if you'll let me answer what I saw in Pennsylvania.
No, I asked a simple question about massive fraud.
I can only tell you what I saw in Pennsylvania.
I know you want to answer a different question.
But Schiff wasn't having any of it. He cut right through the noise, hammering home his point. When the highest court shields the president from accountability, the only thing standing between justice and chaos is an attorney general who isn't tied to politics. This wasn't just some policy debate. This was a wake-up call. Without independence inside the Justice Department, the line between enforcing the law and protecting presidential misconduct becomes dangerously thin. But that heated back and forth, yeah, that was just the opening act. What came next peeled back even deeper cracks in the system. This time the fireworks centered around special counsel Jack Smith. The exchange didn't just show a disagreement, it spotlighted the sharp divide tearing through American politics right now.
The president has said Jack Smith should go to jail. Will you investigate Jack Smith?
Senator, I haven't seen the file. I haven't seen the investigation. I haven't looked at anything. It would be irresponsible of me to make a commitment regarding anything without, you're a long practicing attorney, without looking at a file.
Schiff cut straight to the heart of it, reminding everyone that investigations are supposed to be grounded in evidence, not in a president's dramatic outbursts or partisan gossip. Bold claims don't equal proof, no matter how loudly they're shouted.
So you would need a factual predicate to open an investigation of Jack Smith, is that right?
Not a summary by you sitting here. Yes, sir.
And not a summary by the president either, right?
Absolutely.
So a summary by the president or his desire to investigate Jack Smith would not be enough for you to open an investigation of Jack Smith. Is that right?
I will look at the facts and evidence in any case.
And sitting here,
72%,
sitting here today,
Senator, 72% of Americans
please, I only have
have
7
lost
minutes.
faith
Sitting
in the
here,
Department of Justice.
Sitting here today,
Pam Bondi, still firmly in Trump's corner, tried to spin the Department of Justice as untrustworthy. But Adam Schiff wasn't letting that slide. He hit back with a simple but powerful point. Just because you don't trust someone doesn't automatically make them guilty.
sitting here today, are you aware of any factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Sitting here today, yes or no?
Senator, I will look at the facts and the circumstances.
You can't answer that question. You're not a part of the department yet. There's no worry about divulging
I'm sitting
law
here as a
enforcement
nominee.
sensitive information. So just tell us,
I'm
are you
sitting here as
aware?
a nominee.
Just tell us, are you aware of a factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Yes or no?
Senator, what I'm hearing on the news is
Are you aware of
horrible.
a?
Do I know if he committed a crime? I have not.
You seem reluctant to answer a simple question. Let me ask you a different simple question.
But that's where this clash went from being about Jack Smith to something much bigger. What we're really seeing here is a full-on battle over facts themselves. Political operatives aren't just questioning the DOJ, they're deliberately fueling distrust to chip away at public confidence. It's not just spin anymore, it's an attack on truth. What unfolded next took the tension and cranked it up into a full-on reckoning. And this time, it wasn't just about Liz Cheney, it was about truth itself. And trust me, what you're about to hear hits even harder.
The president also wants to jail Liz Cheney. Sitting here today, are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to answer that
No,
question.
it's not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one
Based
has
on what
asked
you
me
know.
to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a
The
hypothetical.
president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called-
also
the
worried about
president-
Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this-
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
The
please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You
is
are
through
aware,
the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87%
my
higher
question-
than the national
my question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want
question-
to
The showdown between Adam Schiff and Pam Bondi ripped the mask off the Trump camp's evasions. When pressed on the ridiculousness of targeting Liz Cheney without a shred of evidence, Bondi didn't answer the question. Instead, she reached into the MAGA playbook and tried to pivot, dragging the conversation toward crime rates as if that would make everyone forget what was really being asked. But Schiff didn't budge. He zeroed in on the one question that mattered, independence. Could Bondi, standing in that moment, honestly admit that Trump lost the 2020 election? Or was she just another loyal soldier repeating his falsehoods?
My
higher
question-
than the national
my question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want
question
to be
is
focused
this.
on, Senator.
Do you have the
if I'm
power to
confirmed
say
as
no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
And what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth.
That's where this exchange blew past Cheney's name. It turned into something bigger. It wasn't just about one politician. It became a test of truth versus blind loyalty. Schiff's persistence exposed a deeper crisis in American politics. Are Republican leaders ready to break free from Trump's web of lies? Or are they willing to stay locked inside his alternate reality, even if it drags democracy down with them?
Different question, but my question is, can you tell us whether there was massive fraud affecting the results of the 2020 election? Yes or no? Was there
I
or
can
was there
tell
not?
you what I saw.
She was asked a simple yes or no question about massive election fraud and still couldn't bring herself to say the truth. What happened next only made things clearer. So let's break it down.
When I went
That's
as an
not my
advocate
that's
to
not
the
my question.
campaign-
So you can't answer that question. You can't speak that even easy truth to us, let alone to the president. So let me ask you a different question.
The showdown between Schiff and Bondi over the 2020 election and presidential pardons turned into a textbook example of accountability versus evasion. Schiff went straight for the jugular, calling out Trump's baseless claims of widespread fraud and pressing Bondi for a direct answer. But instead of facing the obvious, Bondi sidestepped. She dodged, ducked, and danced around the question, never admitting what everyone already knew. Then, when the conversation shifted to presidential pardons, she tried to soften her position. Bondi pitched this vague case-by-case approach, which sounded more like a safe escape hatch than a real answer, avoiding any direct criticism of Trump's habit of using pardons as a political weapon.
It will also be important that you give good advice to the president. Are you prepared to advise the president not to pardon people who beat police officers?
Senator, as I said, the pardons are at the direction of the president. We will look and we will advise. I will look at every case on a case.
So
Let me finish. On a case-by-case basis.
Okay, good.
And I abhor violence to police officers.
Follow up with that. So will it be your advice to the president, Mr. President? I know you said you want to issue hundreds of pardons on day one. Will it be your advice to the president? No, Mr. President, I need to go over them on a case-by-case basis. Do not issue blanket pardons. Will that be your advice to the president?
Schiff wasn't just asking questions. He was driving home just how serious this really is. Because this isn't about legal fine print or technicalities. It's about something bigger. Whether our leaders are actually willing to defend democracy against lies and the abuse of power. And Bondi, her constant dodging said it all. Her priority was clear: protect Trump at all costs, even if that means looking the other way when the truth is right in front of her.
Senator, I have not looked at any of those files. If confirmed, I will look at the files
And
for
will
the
you be able to
pardons, as well
will
as
you
the
be able to
ongoing
review
investigation.
hundreds of cases on day one?
I will look at every file I am
Of course
asked
you
to
won't.
look
So
at.
will you advise the
Hey,
president?
can I
will
answer
you-
the question?
Well, my question
I
is-
would have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
You'll be able to review
Listen, I'm
hundreds
not
of
going to
cases on the first day?
mislead this body nor you.
At one point, she was asked the simplest question of all: will you protect the January 6th evidence? And she couldn't say yes. Think about that for a second. What does that tell us? This isn't just about Schiff versus Bondi. It's not even just about January 6th pardons, or the 2020 election. What we're really looking at here is a test of truth versus loyalty, and whether America's institutions are strong enough to hold up when political pressure tries to bend them out of shape.
You don't want to answer that. Let me answer
You were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress, Senator, for
it will
comments just
also-
like this that
it
are
will
so
also-
reckless.
It will also be important for you to be able to preserve the records, the evidence of the department. Are you ready to commit that none of the evidence in the January 6th investigation will be destroyed under your watch?
Senator, I will follow the law. I will consult with ethical officials in the
Do you
department.
see any ethical basis to destroy evidence in the January 6th investigation? Then why can't you answer the question? Why can't you say, I commit to this committee, we will never destroy the evidence in the January 6th investigation? Why can't you give this committee and the American people that assurance?
Schiff's relentless questioning cut right to the core. Will leaders defend democracy even when it's inconvenient, or will they dodge, deflect, and protect Trump at all costs? Bondi's responses, or lack of them, exposed the problem in real time. If you can't give a simple yes when asked about protecting evidence, what does that say about your priorities, about your loyalty to the truth?
Are you frightened because evidence was destroyed against President Trump that was false? Is that why you're
Why do
frightened
you
now?
have
I can't
difficulty?
believe this is even.
Why do you have difficulty answering that question?
I can't believe
Why do you
you're
have
asking such a
difficulty?
question.
Why do you have difficulty promising to preserve evidence at the Department of Justice? Why is that a difficult question?
I will follow the law.
It shouldn't be a difficult question.
But that's the scary part, because without transparency, accountability means nothing. If evidence can be buried or twisted, history itself is up for grabs. What happened on January 6th wasn't just chaos in the streets, it was a direct assault on democracy. And if the leaders can't commit to preserving the truth about that day, then the door is wide open for it to happen again. The entire clash showed us more than just political theatrics. It revealed the cracks running through the system, cracks that only widen when those in power put loyalty to one man above loyalty to the country. It went right to the heart of public trust. Schiff pushed her hard, demanding a straight answer about whether she'd safeguard records that could implicate Trump and his allies. But Bondi's evasions only made the stakes even clearer. Schiff made it clear: the fight for accountability isn't just legal, it's moral. It's about ensuring future generations know what really happened, not some watered-down version rewritten. Protect the powerful. So, the question is, will enough people choose truth over spin before it's too late? But what do you think? Shouldn't protecting the evidence be the bare minimum? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that subscribe button, because trust me, the next chapter is even more explosive.